Oh, we have a wonderful show for y'all today. Got a wonderful show. I'm throwing my blue blockers. For this computer stuff. All right, there you go. Got a wonderful show for y'all today. I hope everybody's ready. Today we got a great show coming up. Today is August the 6th. We all know that today is the transitional day of Dr. Sebi. August the 6th. Also today is Jamaican Independence. So big up to everybody in Jamaica celebrating independence in Jamaica. Enough respect to all my family and friends out there in Jamaica. And again, enough respect to Dr. Sebi's energy, Sebi's soul. And of course, today would be, when it comes to Dr. Sebi, man, I keep on forgetting what, I think it was 2016 he died or transitioned. So when you he 2016, August 6, 2016. So enough respect to Baba Sebi all the time, man. That's my brother. I've worked with him. If you go on my YouTube channel, Dr. Sebi is well pronounced on my YouTube channel. I brought him in and we did an excellent job together producing events. So again, big up to Dr. Sebi and his living legendary soul. All right. We'll be back with, at the top of the hour, we'll have Montsho and Nwasha coming in right here on King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Remember, if you enjoy this platform, circulate and donate. Cash App, of course, PayPal, and you can also donate via Super Chat. All right? We'll be right back after these messages, and I will talk to you in a few. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn, inviting you to heal with the numbers and cards in person at the Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat in New Orleans. Go to stshealing.com to learn from the Masters, Aquarius Maximus, King Simon, Nina Diamond, Jazz Aphrodite, and myself. Don't forget, New Orleans, August 17th through the 20th at the Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Register now at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. See you there.
On Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn, Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. This is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon, the numeral beta. Get all 4 of my books. And of course, that's the numeration for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, motivation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%, the poor or prosperous righteous teachers. You gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the classes.
That's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. How you doing, family? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Want to send a salute once again. Want to send a salute once again to our dear brother Alfredo Bowman, the one, the only Dr. Sebi. Today is the day that he transitioned since 2016. Good brother, of course, from Honduras. And he did so much great work, man. And he was born in 1933. And so today is August the 6th, the day that he transitioned. So enough respect to Baba Dr. Sebi, man, who I've had the privilege of working with and loving what he did. And he's helped me and family and friends over the years and inspired many of us to go down the road of using various things to stay keeping our alkalinity on a balance with the acid in our bodies, and also learning how to cleanse ourselves, especially the sea moss revolution is definitely Dr. Sebi all day, every day. That was his thing. You know, people understood that. And enough respect to him and wherever his soul has become part of. And if he might have returned back through a grandchild, we don't know. But I know some of his children, if not all of them, are doing what they have to do to preserve the legacy. So once again, enough salute to Dr. Sebi. He passed on this day, transitioned on this day on August 6, 2016. Yeah, so enough respect to them. And also, let's see, today is Jamaica's Independent Day. So big up to Jamaica, celebrating independence, of course, J.A. Beautiful island of Jamaica. What's up, J.A.? Land where my mother and father was born. Island where my mother and father was born in Jamaica. Celebrating, big up to Jamaica, celebrating their independence today. Come back to Jamaica. What's old is what's new. You come to enjoy us. We made it for you. Come back to Jamaica. Big up to Jamaica celebrating their independence again. That's there. Big up to J.A., man, where my mother and father was born. I wasn't born there. I was born here in America, but I was raised between Jamaica and Canada. And enough respect to Jamaica, Mo Bay, of course, all of the great parts of Jamaica, all of the 13 parishes of Jamaica. Of course, big up to Kingston, the South Coast, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Negril, Port Anthony. Big up to all the major spots in Jamaica, all of the family spots, even the so-called ghetto. Big up to them because them are my people and them are the ones me go and visit when me there Spanish Town. I'll do my thing and go into Waterhouse to visit people like Jammies and all these great people. Go to Duane Park and all them places there. Port Moore. Because, you know, my family's out of St. Catharines. A lot of them is in St. Catharines, St. Mary's, and Port Anthony, too. Big up to the Port Anthony crew. I used to take the bus up to Port Anthony. So, again, big up to Jamaica celebrating their independence today. Big up to Jamaica all the time. Enough respect to them and whatever they're doing in Jamaica for all the festivities. All right, so Today we have a special show that's coming up, and waiting for Montsho and Nwasha to get it in, and they have a beautiful website also that we're going to be sharing momentarily when they come on. And of course, it is now 12:01, and I want to make sure people understand that the relationship is very important, you know. And why I decided to do this is after reading a majority of their book. I didn't read it all, but I'm almost finished because I go in and out. I contemplate it. I listen to my inner thoughts about relationships. I see Montsho backstage, but I'm waiting for his wife. I don't want to start without the Empress. I don't call nobody queens. I know what the root word of that means, but empresses and goddesses, you got to respect that. But you know, respect the people that got that brand. Like Queen of Four, enough respect to her. She got a big event coming up all the way till her birthday from August 11th to the 13th in Atlanta, Georgia. I remember the place has been changed. It's no longer going to be at the Legacy Center, but I know she's going to be doing something at the New Black Wall Street. And one of my nephews opening his first dojo in Florida, in South Florida. He was a student of Dr. Moses Powell. His father, Dr. G.M. Hakeem. Anthony Muhammad is also his teacher. And all of us as his teacher from the dojos, whether it's through educational, mental, physical, or stimulated, but he's definitely bringing that jujitsu VSK from Professor V, Sanukas, Kumite from Soke Littlejohn. He's bringing it to Florida. So if y'all can make it out there, grand opening August 12th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, over there at the Southside Cultural Arts Center. Go and support my brother. He's very good at what he's doing, very humbled and respectful. He's a Leo spirit, so look out for that. Big up to Sister Shaniqua, Lino, Oracle, Seer, and Healer. Love is supreme and spirituality is its reflection. That's going to be the topic on my show on August the 13th, right after I leave Queen of Four's event. I'm still working on certain things, so I want to make sure everything is right. And then we'll be in New Orleans, the 2003 Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Myself, Lloyd Strayhorn, Nina Diamond, Aquarius Maximus, and Jackie Levine will be in New Orleans from August the 17th through the 20th. And then on August the 27th, I have this master iridologist, Ayurveda, herbalist, and Reiki master, Dr. Karima King, coming in the building. And if you're in Atlanta or Stone Mountain that weekend from the 8th to the 10th, Mama Tassili is having the Natural Mystic Fair. I'm going to be one of the speakers. Meet your inner child. I'm going to speak about my inner child and how numbers have correlated with me for all throughout my life and all through your life if you start recognizing the matrix of numbers. And then Brother Rich and KTL and them are doing the return to Stone Mountain. We're going to be climbing Stone Mountain to do the meditation and prayers that we do. You know, keep that energy popping. We're not going to do it on 9/11 because all of the firemen and police officers come up there. So we're going to do it on 9/9, which is my grandfather's birthday. 9/9 is still a master number energy. So big up to the 9/9 people. But that 9/9 represents, and because it all adds up to a number 7 when you add it all across with the 2023, it's going to be a very heightened and spiritual climb up that mountain. We're going to meet up at the walk trail at 6:44 a.m. and get at the top of the mountain by the time sunrise. We're there doing what we got to do. And that's the weekend of September the 8th and 10th. All of these are free events. You could just support the vendors at Tassili because she's doing 3 days, but let's support the vendors and do big up my sponsors like Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Call them 800-581-4401. Also, one of my sponsors, Dr. Shakira Moore, internationally known iridologist, health practitioner, and also an overall great person. Linktree/Holistica Healer. And if you want to see Baba Ashra Kwesi in New York City, I got him coming to New York Saturday, September 23rd at the new Alkaline Oasis venue owned by my brother, Mr. G, who is, of course, the one who filmed a lot of Dr. Sebi and wrote a book about Dr. Sebi. Good brother, just opened up a nice little spot there, and I love it. A nice little lecture hall in the back. And if you want to advertise with me, please, please, please hit me up at the email at ksptvmedia@gmail.com. Remember, advertisement doesn't cost, it pays. Big up to the one, the only Drop Squad Kitchen Abundance Child and the whole family. Make sure if you're in Wilmington, Delaware, support my sister and the family. And big up to Aton's beautiful wife, Kendall Cobb. HypnosisWithKendall.com. Hit her up, good friend of mine. Did a hypnosis ceremony on me. But I don't say it's a consultation, it's a ceremony. Because it broke me out of a lot of shells and made me come down to Georgia, by her getting into my psychological and my subconscious mind. And big up to EPS Holistic Health and Wellness.square.site from some good products made with CBD and a lot of great stuff for the body, for the muscles and all that. She did. Matter of fact, after I do a workout, I usually rub it on the places that might be hurting, and I use this product myself. So, and big up to Nicholas Brooklyn and Nicholas Cultural. If you want 10% off, all you do, take a snapshot of this and then bring it to the store and tell them you heard it on King Simon. Boom, you'll get the 10% off of all retail purchases. And if you do want to take a trip with Baba Ashwa Kwesi, remember 214-371-0206. Tell him King Simon sent you, and he'll show you a lot of love, okay? And if you want to get any of my books, all of them on Linktree/King Simon the Numerator on Amazon. Big up to Dr. Africa, who actually, and his wife, who actually were the publishers for 3 of my books, except Numerovation for Mental Stability. So big up to Laila Africa, the late, great Dr. Laila Africa, who also, I found their book in his house. So back in the day, and fell out the door. And I knew I was supposed to read it because it fell down out of the closet. I was like, what the heck is going on? I didn't even touch that closet. So somebody must have been in there and shook it up. And then the angel said, you know what, King, you need to find out more of a relationship. You be messing up in relationships. That's what it told me. That's what it opened my eyes to do. And if you do want to get any of my course on Udemy, it's a 2-hour course on Udemy. Go to udemy.com or go to my Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. If you do want to take my full 8-hour course, you can go to Linktree /King Simon the Numerator and take the 8-hour course, which is very extensive. I do PowerPoint and chalkboard. And if you do want to book a serious session with me, 347-496-1022, 347-496-1022. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, because none of us are perfect in this round. Back. I am waiting for his wife to return. I don't know. How you doing? You want me to bring you on? Yes or no? You want me to bring you on first, or you want me to wait till she come on? I can wait now. Just shake your head, yes or no. I can wait till she come on. I'll wait till she comes. I can talk. I'd rather bring on the twins. I'd rather bring on the twin soul. Because they are a very special part of my growth. They are a very special part of my growth and my development in learning how to be a better person in relationship. Back in the day, I was crazy. I know that. I had a whole bunch of women in the club doing all kinds of stuff, thinking I was a PIMP, and I wasn't, doing my foolishness. So, but the topic today, family, as we get ready to bring our beloved partners on, they're backstage, but the sister got to get herself together. I understand that. I know how sisters are. Boom. Topic is sacred art of soul mating with a purpose. We got to do things with a purpose. And okay, no problem. Okay. He said we can start. Okay, no problem, brother. So a man and woman's duty is never done. So she got to do what she got to do. I got it. I understand. So without any further ado, let me bring on one of the best half, other half, who also is the best half, right here. And we're gonna wait till our sister come on. She could come on with her phone too. If she got the link, she could come on wherever she at with her phone. So but this beautiful family runs the Akoma House Initiative. That's right, the Akoma House Initiative, which deals about love and understanding love from a higher level, not like Valentine's and all that kind of stuff, more on a deeper, esoteric, and holistic level. And you can contact Montsho and Nwasha Edu because they are the founders of Akoma House Initiative. The number is 609-747-4203. The email is akomahouseinitiative@gmail.com. Of course, at gmail.com. The website right here is www.akomahouseinitiative.com. And here's more links, of course, right here. Facebook, they got a Facebook account, they got a YouTube channel called Akoma Day Every Day, the Black Love School on YouTube, Cash App is $ Akoma House, and their PayPal is paypal.me, Akoma House Initiative. Let's welcome right here on the virtual stage of King Simon Presents Only Quality People, the one, the only, and the best and only. My man, as he's on his way, man. My brother, how you doing, my brother?
Greetings, bro. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hotep, shalom.
Okay, Hotep, Akoma, Nwasha is here.
Oh, she okay. She made it.
Yeah. A mother's work is never done.
A mother's work is never done. That's right. That's the truth.
Yeah,
man.
Had to jump off at the last second. The children called for something. They away with the auntie, and it was an emergency. Mom had to run out and get it to them. So
when the children call, Mama's on the run.
Yes.
Mama be on the run. Believe me, I see my mother defend me from all kind of things. You know, if a dog come running up, she defended me. I'm like, gosh, Mom, you the one of the roughest superheroes I've met. But I am privileged to have you both here. I'm glad both of y'all was able to come on together and show this love. And family, again, contact them because relationship in our community is a very serious topic. And we can't build community without relationships. Cannot build any community. Even you see the community of ants, they got a relationship. The community of bees got a relationship. I see they got a relationship. So if like in the Holy Quran, they got a surah on the ant and the bee. Why would they have such a surah on the ant and the bee and the unification of such great species in our realm? But we are lacking. You know, how can they stay in unification by their instinct, but we are lacking because we're out of our universal understanding and understanding of who we are. First of all, once again, I want to thank you both, Montsho and Nwasha Edu.
Thank you. It's good to see you again. It's been, what has it been, a couple of months since
we were in Delaware? Delaware, that's right. We were in Delaware.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. And your website is here, family. Now, you know, wonderful book. Like I said, I didn't get to read it at Dr. Africa, but I did look through it the first time, and that's when I think I contacted you from there. And I go, yo, I got the book fell out the darn closet.
Yeah.
May Dr. Laila Africa rest in eternal peace and paradise,
absolutely.
man. That's our Baba. And you know, the roughest times that a lot of us are going through right now. And I just heard a story about my friend's daughter getting killed by her fiance due to in Georgia just recently, the news and everything. It's in Rockbridge and all that. And I just found out on a friend of mine's podcast, Brother Garfield. Condolences to Morpheus. He'd be on Sarnetta's show. He's been on Garfield. Condolences to your daughter Imani, who, you know, him and I was in the Ansar Allah community in Bushwick back in the day with Dr. York. When back in the Ansar Muslim days. And to his daughter was born till after he left, but I knew him because he used to be a singer for the Force MDs. He was a part of the Force MDs.
Yeah.
So to hear that, it touched me, and I'm glad I got to watch it before, because domestic violence.
Yes.
In relationship, how does the Akoma House Initiative help with the mentality of domestic violence when it comes to relationships? Please.
Well, you know, that's a great question. I'll start with that because, you know, Nawasha and I came together as two separate therapists, and we were doing different kind of work. So she was working in educational psychology and women's empowerment, but I was dealing with, you know, incarcerated adults and adjudicated youth. Right. And so I had been all over my state. And I happened to have worked with a lot of people who were perpetrators of domestic violence, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, etc. And so I had a lot of experience, a lot of one-on-ones with people. In a previous relationship in my early 20s, we were in a domestic violence situation where the woman I was with was very violent. So she had been in a violent relationship as a young teen with an older man, and she kind of carried that on. And we dealt back and forth for about a year before I retaliated one time with a violent act. So I hit her one time in that year because I had gotten just tired of it. It went from being a joke to I thought it was actually cute, and then it got annoying. Then it got, offensive, and then finally I struck back one time and I regretted it. Definitely not proud of that. But so I have experience working with domestic violence because it's a big thing. It's a big thing in our relationships. So, you know, I would say that first it's like we're all good people, but we get caught up in a pattern of destruction. And so that destruction starts usually mentally, then it becomes emotional, psychological, sociological, and then behavioral, right? So then we start doing stuff that we thought about or that we were programmed to do or that we don't have another outlet for. And so I've, you know, talked to a lot of men in particular, maybe about 3 or 4 women, but over like 30 men who were over 30 men about domestic violence, but I've talked to thousands of men who actually committed domestic violence, but not about that subject, about other things. But you know, so I think that one of the first things we have to do is return people to a sense of self. And a part of that sense of self is accepting the accountability and responsibility for what they've done, but understanding why we do anything. I think that's a big part of creating change is to understand why we've done something. And then as soon as we do that, it's important to help people understand this reality that we are always more than what we do. Like, so whether it's positive or negative, you know, helping to rebuild men and women that have served their time after they took someone's life is a hard thing because, again, we have a self-accusing spirit. You spoke about the Holy Quran. You know, all of our spiritual teachings teach us that we have a divinity spirit, which is a truth. So now, how do you bring a person back after they know that they have taken someone's life? You know, we have to help them understand that your life has purpose, and you are always bigger than what you do, positive or negative, right? And so it's a meticulous work. It's a dynamic work because it is a highly charged emotional work. However, we have to normalize socially that it's not okay to be violent against each other, especially for the, you know, keeping it real 100%. I was in that minority of men that were abused by women, but the majority of us recognize and understand we are bigger most of the time, stronger physically. And so we are leading by a war culture that we're imitating white men. So we solve our problems through war. And when we have problems with people we love, we want to control them or dominate them through physical violence. And 9 times out of 10, it's the women and the children. And so the men have to just, you know, we have to understand that there is a difference between our nature and what we're doing, but we have to take accountability for both. We have to rise up to, from a spiritual and cultural space, we got to rise up to our divine nature, and then we got to take accountability for what we did. And most of the brothers that I worked with were already in prisons because I was going into prisons, or they were coming out of prisons in halfway houses or transitional programs. So it is an epidemic, you know, in relationships, and even for women who are unmated, a big part of the courting phase is skewed by violence or the threat of violence, whether it is physical violence or sexual violence. And so the real is women are scared of black men. Black women are scared of black men. A lot of that is propaganda. I will concede that, but some of it, a good portion of it, is because most women, if they're the age of 18 or older, they've been violated by a man some way, whether it is an unrequested touch or even more. You know, I deal with a lot of rape victims and other things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have had some contact. And so there's a thing going around where a lot of men ask women, like, you know, why y'all ain't smiling and why y'all ain't happy to see us? I say, come on, bro. Why you go into a neighborhood and you ain't smiling at all the black men that you see when they walking around and stuff? It's the same reason and we got the capacity to defend ourselves most of the time.
Right.
They ain't smiling for the same damn reason you ain't smiling, because you're afraid. You know that these men that are all around you have the potential to harm you. Now, everyone isn't interested in harming you, but it's hard to discern when that advancement of attraction is expressed. Is this attraction? Is it requested or wanted?
Right.
And then is it dangerous? And that's what women are facing, because most of them don't have the physical capacity to defend themselves against one of us. So
now, thank you very much for that honest answer, of course. Because you kind of got, you kind of told the truth about yourself and what you went through.
Yes,
and I remember my oldest son asking me about me and his mother, and I said, yes, she did get hit by me once because of something that she did with one of the elders in the community of the Ansar, and they told me to chastise her, but I was like, because in the Quran, they tell you, we got to be careful scriptures and following people, because in the Quran, they talk about you're allowed to beat your women. Right. People don't realize that. And in certain parts of the scriptures and in the Bible, but they allow. So once I hit her once, and I just didn't feel right. I didn't feel right. And I promised myself after I left communities and organizations that I would never let a doctrine allow me to hit a woman, especially out of because of the doctrine says that, unless it's self-defense, because Dr. Moses Powell said, whoever comes trying to aggress upon you, we taking whatever's out, period. We don't play with people putting or trying to take our life. Male, woman, dog, cat, nobody, because everybody have the propensity to kill somebody, period. I've seen a woman beat in a club, beat a man there half to death with a shoe nail, a shoe heel. So it can be done. But what you were saying about the aggression upon women, especially with men, is majority of the time that's what's happening. You're absolutely right. And we've been in the nation, we was an advocate of protecting women. I mean, when you touched our women, I remember one time Dr. Khalid, may he rest in peace, one of the brothers from the Hebrew Israelites accosted one of the Nation of Islam women. Dr. Khalid took one guy with him and went inside, I think, One West at that time, under General Yohana, one of them, and went in there by himself and with the guy and told him, and whatever was told, it never happened again.
Right.
Not with Dr. Khalid.
I want to add something to that.
Go ahead, please.
I think, like as Montsho was saying, one of the areas that we focus on, out of the three areas, we focus on psychological reparation, relationship education, and cultural initiation. The psychological repair that we have to do is we definitely need to decolonize, so much like you're saying, whatever doctrines we're following, we have to understand that there's another layer of culture that's added into the truth or the principle of a doctrine. So when we find ourselves in relationships today, we are very much using the oppressive mindset that we are inheriting by default because we were colonized. So wherever we are, that we're following a doctrine, even if it's just pop culture that we're following, the culture that we are in, love is synonymous with possession. And so if once something doesn't go the way that you want it to go and you feel oppressed, as Montsho was saying, you're going to take it out on whoever you think is weaker than you. And for sometimes, women may be frustrated and assaulting the men that they're with.
Yes.
Men are often frustrated in an outside world and coming in and assaulting the women and the children because they are weaker. But it really comes from a sense of control. We all want certainty as a psychological, fact. This is a need that we have. And when we don't have certainty, the flip side or the negative aspect of certainty is control. So most domestic violence is, Montsho says often men have a lust-hate instead of a love-hate relationship with women. It's a lust-hate. So as soon as something doesn't go the way that you want it to go, the flip of that is aggression and violence. And there's a level of emotional fitness that the culture does not allow and cultivate men to have. So if the only allowable expressions are anger, excitement about winning, and then a stoic, seriousness, that's all. That's the range that men get to have. So when you're frustrated and you don't have a level of emotional endurance, emotional flexibility, emotional fitness overall, the answer to anything that doesn't feel well is aggression and anger. And this is often why men treat each other with a certain amount of not disdain, but distance. Because when something goes a certain kind of way, it could be aggression, it could be violence, right? There's not necessarily that fear when it comes to women and children. So that's a place, especially when the doctrines and the culture support beating women and beating children. This is something that's definitely very oppressive culture mindset, definitely something that's very American, so like, this is what's expected. We need to be able to decolonize our understanding of love and separate the aspects that are not our culture from the truth of love. Love is a real thing, but it's not about possession. It's about sharing. It's about service. And if we can get out of our mind that because I'm saying this is my woman, I can beat her, or because I'm saying that this is my child, I can beat them into submission. We have to get that out of our minds. And then we have to have the education that says, I can influence you, I can inspire you, but I'm not trying to control you.
Give that a round of applause, family. Topic today, family: sacred art of soul mating with a purpose. For both of you, how important is it? Because you have virtues in your book that you speak about, 7 virtues, and I looked at them and I said, okay, but a lot of all those seven, the 7th one is forgiveness. Usually I would look at it from, in this day and time, forgiveness might be the first one. Because we need to forgive each other.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In order to be flexible, patient, faithfulness and consistent and endurance and fondness of goodwill, you got to forgive. Because once you don't have any forgiveness and willing to heal, because I always say, forgiveness is the highest form of healing.
Right.
If we don't have no forgiveness, how can we pursue on with every other virtue? I'm just saying, but please, from your perspective, how important is forgiveness, and then how does it all entail that all comes in with the 7 virtues of Akoma Day or Akoma, from your perspective, especially in your book?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And the reason forgiveness can be extended to someone else is because you have to be practiced at forgiving yourself. We're in an imperfect time, and the world is so brutal. So we're miseducated, we're uneducated about love, about life, about purpose, about so many things, and we're in a time of imperfection. So now, when we make mistakes, then what happens is the world is cold and the world is brutal. And so we adapt and adopt. We adapt to and adopt that mindset of ourselves. So the self-accusing spirit, again, we condemn ourselves. You hear people say all the times, creatives, musicians, artisans, business people, I'm my worst critic. When I hear people say that, I often say, how do you critique yourself? And what do you do with the critique? Because sometimes people are saying, I'm my worst critic. They on the verge of suicide and all kinds of stuff. The critique that they're giving themselves is inordinate to the actual things. You know what I mean? Like, so for a lot of people, it's just that we have the greatest expectation of ourselves, right? But for some of us, when we're saying that, we really mean I condemn myself on a regular basis. And so these are the people that I find it's difficult for them to forgive themselves. And so it's very difficult for them to forgive anyone else. But forgiveness starts with the practice of, self-forgiveness. And we talk about, we share a lot of the same teachers in Layla, Africa, definitely Khalid Muhammad, Queen Afua, Baba Haru. These are our real everyday, sit at your feet, come to your house, spend years and years of our lives with these people that have trained us. And Queen Afua taught us an ancient prayer that goes, today I forgive myself. for in my forgiving, I begin the process. No, it says, today I offer forgiveness to myself and all people, places, and things that have hurt me in this life and in past lives. For in my forgiving, I begin the process of true healing. The sickness within me is no more. Instead of holding on to anger, bitterness, and sadness, I offer it all up to the Most High. And that's a daily incantation, a daily prayer that we say. And there was a time where I said it every day, multiple times a day. And I began to realize that it was so many things that I needed to forgive myself about.
Right.
Once I got in that flow and that flux, it became really easy for me to forgive other people.
Yeah.
Because if I want the best for myself, and I know that I absolutely do, and I'm doing all kind of things that fall short of my goal, or I'm actually doing things that actually hurt me in my process, right? If I could forgive that, then it becomes easy for me to forgive others. And one of the things about the intimate relationship that is stifling and it freezes people. When you love somebody the most and you open yourself up to them, they actually have a greater propensity to hurt you than somebody who you're not close to, who you don't have feelings for, so under like anger sometimes is pain. Under pain is hurt. Under pain is like a failed expectation, but under that is love. So you love somebody, you have an expectation. And what's interesting, most of the time, we don't even tell them the expectation we have.
Right.
We don't even know what the expectation is, as Nawasha saying. We just holding you to something that you have no idea you're being held to. Right. Then when you fail, it hurts. Then that pain sits and it becomes anger. And this is how we start to deal with each other in harsh ways from the anger. But if we go 4 levels down, it's actually love. And so because we're unskilled in relationships, we're cleaving ourselves to people that are 100% going to levy some kind of pain, not intentionally, but because we're unskilled. We got expectations that we don't know how to talk about. We don't know how to model behavior. We want someone to do for us what we are not able to do for ourselves. So we'll say, I'm open up to you, but don't you hurt me. Well, damn, you hurt yourself all the time. Now, I'm held to a standard that even you can't be held to. And so these are the kinds of things. And I'm not suggesting we should just encourage, hey, come in here and start hurting me as much as you can. Right. But what I'm saying is we got to have forgiveness. And so that's why in the virtues of Akoma Day, that forgiveness is that, once you have the flexibility, the patience, the faithfulness, the consistency, the endurance, the fondness and goodwill, you're actually friends, because so many people are in relationships and they're not friends. You're actually friends. Then you can forgive one another for their own imperfections, because we all got them.
That's right. Give that round of applause, family. Family, if you're just tuning in, just coming in, we're speaking with the great Montsho and Nwasha Edu our guest, founders of the Akoma House Initiative. Contact them via 609-474-4203 or email them at the akomahouseinitiative@gmail.com. And do remember, they do have a website if you want to set up an appointment and all that good stuff, www.akomahouseinitiative.com. And also they do have a Facebook, Instagram, and a Black Love School YouTube Instagram, and also Cash App. Spread love, spread love by a $sign Akoma House, or go to paypal.me Akoma House Initiative. Now I wanted to answer somebody in here because Mary Jane, what's up, Mary Jane? She said words have more than one definition in the Quran. It does speak of striking your woman, and the word striker, struck, also means cancel, remove, cross out. Yes, I know that, but you see, I was 18 when that happened. So if you're not fully astute in the language and their multiple definition, a young or an ignorant person in prison might come out and still strike because the word strike is in there. See, so the translations are cute and they might have a multiple meaning of all this and all that. I know they have multiple meanings. After I grew up and understood the Arabia, because I spoke Arabia when I was younger, because in that community they taught us Arabia Fusha, and we learned the Quran to learn that there's different dimensions and the footnotes and all that kind of stuff. That's when I got older. But when you're young and you're following somebody blindly without really consulting your inner soul that said, don't do that. Why don't just talk to her and just keep it moving? You know what I'm saying? That's when, if you're young and blind, that's the problem, you know, because Quran is a beautiful book in its pure language. Because I still listen to the Adhan sometimes in the morning. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I used to call the Adhan back in the day, in the 80s, in the Ansar community. So I know as I got older, as I studied it, what it means. But, you know, going back to our guest that's here, with forgiveness, there has to be a level of patience too. And a lot of us nowadays, because of this fast-paced society, are not patient with each other. And that's one of your virtues. Speak about, Nwasha, please speak about and patience, especially with women, because sometimes women have patience, men don't have that much patience, and then it could go vice versa. But from a sister's perspective, please tell our sisters what it is when it comes to patience, please.
I definitely believe we need to embrace more what would now be called slow living, because we are very hyper everything right now. So, you know, if you're going to be patient, I think one of the most important things is that you are really embodying a sense of stillness and a sense of presence. You know, most of the time when we find ourselves impatient, it's that we are stressing over the past,
right.
Instead of genuinely time traveling, as our ancestors said, to reframe the past. That's something that we can do that helps with forgiveness, actually, is reframe the stories of our parents and grandparents and our own stories. But when it comes to us being patient, we have to be able to stay in the actual present moment without traveling to the past or being anxious about the future. And I think in life, we have multiple opportunities to practice patience. So when we're talking about cultural initiation or embodiment,
yes,
you can be patient when you're in traffic. You can be patient when you're at the supermarket. What I have found is and this takes the emotional maturity again. When you feel agitated, that is a sign that you can go straight into practice. So when I find myself at the supermarket and there's only one line open, and I'm like, I have 2 items and I do not want to put them back, but there's like 15 people ahead of me. I say, what is it that I could be thinking about? I could be praying for people. I could be grateful that I can buy something. But rather than me jump to the future or stress or do some other things, I think we ignore a lot of small opportunities to practice patience, so that when we are in a relationship, it's not the first time that we're trying to do something. And I think that this goes back to developing a skill set. You know, Montsho and I, we were just talking about this last night, that most people accept they need to have a skill set in almost every other area of their life. If they're looking to be in any profession, there's going to be the machinery. There's going to be, you know, maybe the customer service script or whatever it is. There's the technical side of that thing that they love, that they want to excel in. And when we come to relationships, we expect everything to be the fake kind of magic that we see on cartoons and in fairy tales or in superhero myths, instead of the real magic, which was actually chemistry, a science.
I like the quote that you have in the book on page 56, which that's my age now. I'm 56 years of age. It says, when we abandon patience, we nurture a false ego.
Yes.
Woo! I was like, I was stuck on stupid on that one.
You know why that's so important is because sometimes people say, I'm not going to be patient because I'm not giving this person an opportunity. You know, they don't deserve an opportunity. Sometimes because of previous people. Or because they have also made mistakes, which is why, you know, most of what we're saying in indigenous culture is coil knowledge. You're going to hit your 360 degrees, but then you're going to up level and then go 360 degrees and then up level. There is coils and coils, just as you were saying, what you learn at 18 can be true, but applied at 28 and 38 and 48, it's not the same. So there are some principles that when you get your 360 degrees, you up level. patience is one of those things. We have opportunities to be patient with ourselves. We have opportunities to be patient with strangers. We have opportunities to be patient with the people that we love the most. And it doesn't mean that there are no boundaries. It doesn't mean that you can't voice your expectations, but it also means that you can protect yourself without the lack of patience, right? I think sometimes we just think of, we have a lack kind of mindset. Yes. And we also have the mindset of we're more likely to go what we don't want. Most of us just talk about, you know, when Montsho and I say, you know, how could you be more patient in a relationship? Most people say, well, what I don't want someone to do is, in the very next breath, if we say, what would you love to have in a relationship? Most people say, well, I don't want a cheater. I don't want someone to abuse me. I don't want someone to clean out my bank account. It's very hard for us to phrase things in what we do want. And I think that when you are practicing patience, the element that you can actually control is your ability to stay in the present. Because really, you can't control other people and you can't control situations. You can't control where you find yourself in life. But if you understand that life is really the cultivation of your character, when you feel the internal frustration and the urge to act out or demonstrate what you don't want more of, that is the internal cue to go into practicing something else. And I think that it takes practice, like most things. We don't want to take it for granted, you know, but we need an ego in the sense that we need awareness of self and for protection.
The positive and negative ego, yes.
But the false ego is a mask, right, that we're wearing, especially in this kind of the remnant of oppressive culture, because we also we believe that we're not in that anymore at many levels, because of the refinement process of racism, white supremacy. So we know we're different from our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents in our reality, but we also have to accept that a lot of the demonstration that we have is from a false ego, where we are not acting like who we really are. So we're wearing a mask on top of a mask on top of a mask.
Absolutely.
And then that's why we're saying that if you can't be, you know, patient, if you can't practice these virtues, it's definitely you practicing a false ego. But what's great about a mask is you can take it off.
That's right. Get that round of applause. See that family, this is the sacred art of soulmating with a purpose. And this all entwines with this. It's not one size fit all. let's make that clear with people. Not one size fit all. This is what they're promoting in the society. One size, one pill, one this, one that, one night fit all. One more night. We had songs like this. One more night. Really? Just one night? You don't have nothing other. So, you know, family, if you're just tuning in, you gotta go to their website and show some love, especially couples right now, or people that want to be in a stable relationship. Go to their website. That's www.akomahouseinitiative.com. That's www.akomahouseinitiative.com. Their number is 609-474-4203. That's 609-474-4203. Also, if you're not ready to talk, email. You know what it is. Some people can write better than they talk. akomahouseinitiative@gmail.com. And of course, they do have their own Facebook. That's right on the page here. They have an Akoma Day every day, YouTube and Instagram. And remember, they got the Black Love School, YouTube, Instagram, and also Cash App, baby. Stop playing. They need moolah. Like my brother Reverend Ike used to say, yo, black power without green power is no power. So stop playing. So this is black love. You don't want that like broke ass black love. You want people that are thriving and doing their thing. So Akoma House, $ Akoma House, and then PayPal.me, Akoma House Initiative. Show them love, even if you don't show me love. My stuff is scrolling on the bottom, but show them love because they have helped many people. And how many years have both of y'all been doing this together?
So together, we've been doing it for the business is officially 15 years old. We actually incorporated our paperwork on 5/2/08, and then 5/2/09, our first daughter was born. A year to the day later. Wow. But
congratulations! We'll get that round of applause. Okay. Good.
We've been we've been doing it in our life for 23 years because we've been married that long. So we,
Yes.
but we've been serving the diaspora for the last 15 years. You know.
So wait. From your perspective, how was it in the beginning stages? Because all of us have a beginning when it comes to relationships,
Right.
and how should we handle being consistent and enduring? Because some of us want to give up after a few weeks, a few months, somebody in a few minutes, people giving up.
Right.
You
Right.
said something different that triggered,
Right.
because a lot of people are triggered quickly now.
Right. Absolutely.
Very emotional. So talk about the beginning.
I think people. Go ahead. You were going to say
I was
something.
just going to say something about being triggered. You know,
Yes,
That's what I was going to say.
We because counseling is much more popular now, we have a lot of lingo in the common culture that kind of like it's just one-sided. You know, I think that what we need to remember is a trigger is just a trigger, right? It doesn't have to be negative. So there are actually positive triggers, like when you smell some fresh baked cookies and you think of your grandma, like that's really a trigger for you. It's the first domino that's getting knocked over. Unfortunately, a lot of us entertain our negative triggers more than we are aware of our positive triggers. So when we, you know, something happens and we are triggered, we do want to give up because, again, we don't believe that there's a skill set that's involved in relationships. We think the person has to come to us perfect, and we often are not perfect.
Exactly.
But that's our external expectation because we're able to see others more than we're able to see ourselves. But I think, you know, in the beginning, you have a lot of energy and a lot of fuel, as Montsho says. It's the gas in the car. Love is the gas. Attraction is the gas. But you need more than gas to get where you want to go. You need like a driver's license, some insurance, you know, a maintenance plan for your car. First, you need a car. Like if you had gallons of gas, you wouldn't get anywhere. So I think that, you know, we have to respect the beginning, which is some of the glue that makes you, it's definitely the magnetic energy that pulls you together. So that's the curiosity, the difference, you know, all of the things that are unalike that is based on attraction. But after you actually make commitment, or you even just really show more interest, so you're more committed to being committed, that's when you really have to be able to accept that there's another phase of cementing and deepening the love. And that's going to be where a natural kind of infatuation wears off. But then that's actually where genuine love comes in. And I think, again, because we are in a dominant culture that caters to more fairy tale experiences, and this is for men and women, we have a fantasy idea. So I don't want to say it's like fairy tale and that it's Cinderella.
I used to watch Fantasy Island back in the day too. Fantasy Island.
Exactly. So that idea that something can be your fantasy, and I actually believe that this is going to get a tiny bit worse before it gets better because of AI and having things be on demand, even when it comes to love. But I think that what we're not taught about love the way we are taught about driving, cooking, working, going to school, that there's a process. So we expect to live in the infatuation level at a level 10 all the time. And that's not productive. You know, what happens to our brain and our literal hormonal system when we're infatuated is not what actually brings true service and genuine love. So when we're saying wedding vows and we're saying those types of things and we're saying in sickness and in health, it takes a lot to do something for someone if they were sick or if they're not able, or just to actually genuinely care about them as a person, as opposed to the energy that it takes to just be attracted to them. So it has its place in attraction. You know, attraction has its place in the love process because you're coming together, you're inspired, you're, you know, motivated to connect. But once you make the connection, naturally, the person that you look at all the time, the person that you're talking to all the time, you're not going to have the same level of infatuation, but you should have a deepening level of love, service, and appreciation for the person. And then that's what takes you into, you know, the natural progression of relationships. So that first year to third year can often, and for most people, is like first year is infatuation. But the first 7 years they match the first 7 years of our human development, which is all about trust. It's the infancy stage of anything. Unfortunately for us as Black people, and definitely in Western cultures and absolutely in American culture, most relationships do not make it past 5 years. So we never make it out of infancy. So if we're looking around and we're saying, wow, I never get to be a child, I never get to be a teenager, I never get to be an adult in a relationship, I'm always in the infatuation phase, which is the infancy stage of love. An infant needs to be taken care of.
Right.
When you move out into being a child, you're able to do that a little bit more. As a teen, even more, and you're able to contribute more. And as an adult, you're fully realized, and you're then deepening into your purpose and your level of contribution. Most of us don't see that in relationship because we can't get past infancy of 1 year to 2 years. We can hardly walk on our own, the equivalent of feeding ourselves and using the bathroom and walking on our own.
Right.
Do that in relationship. So I think it's just something that it comes back to the relationship education and definitely our healing process that we as indigenous people of the world, we use fairy tale and myth to teach, not to live in the fantasy. And I think once we get into, this style of living in false worlds more than we're in the real world, which that's been happening just through social media. But now that you actually might be able to have an AI girlfriend or an AI man,
a robot, all of that.
Yes. Want to live with their, adjusted reality, their artificial reality more than their regular. Because if you don't have to fight your AI man, you don't have to argue and explain to your AI woman, why wouldn't you choose the easier route when we're conditioned to stay in a fantasy? So I really think it's very interesting. And, this is why we're so passionate about having a grounded level of love practice that you can actually tap into elevated levels of consciousness instead of kind of borrowing a false elevated consciousness and that it's artificial intelligence or that it's a fairy tale or a fantasy. And trying to live in that. It's much better for you to realize high levels of love, for you to realize elevated consciousness than to borrow a manufactured consciousness.
So let me add this 20 seconds real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Because you asked about the beginning of the relationship.
Yes,
it was phenomenal, right?
Okay.
Long walks, long talks, reading together. We did a lot of things that built a friendship. Right. And one of the things that we did that made it so electric and tantalizing was that we took sex out of the relationship for the first, we can't even remember if it was 9 months. Sometimes I say it was 9 months. And then other times we looking back and we're saying, oh, it was 6 or 7 months. But many months. It felt like 15 years. That's what it felt like. That we were going without sex. But we just had a lot of fun. We read together, we talked, we held hands. We spent a lot of time together, and we just acknowledged that we were trying to build the best relationship that we had ever been in. And so we were consciously striving to, like, we were in this fun competition of trying to outdo and impress each other with each other. And so that was it. But within the first year, we came into challenges. We came into challenges in the first year that in the past had ended relationships for us, or what we see in relationships for many of the people we work with.
Right. Wow. Get that around applause for that answer. A lot of people are throwing around the words soulmating and twin flames. A lot. A lot of people don't believe in soulmates or twin flames. This is the sacred art of soulmaking with a purpose. What is your breakdown of between the two, soulmates and twin flames, from your perspective? Who wants to start off with that?
Yeah, so I could just say that from us, there is the translation of words like in that example that you used about the Quran is so on point. Yes. And growing up in all of those communities, Ansar Allah, Shiite, Sunni, Muslim, and me really in the Nation of Islam was my foundation at 14 years old. Words are interpreted a lot of ways, bro, but even more than words, it is the example that we see. And so I resonate with what you said about being young, even if you ain't young, because we all are young in the knowledge at any given point in time, because the knowledge is infinite. So no matter how long you've been in it, I've been studying culturally based sciences for 40 something years. I'm a baby in this stuff.
Still a baby.
But have more information than some. Right. So So I would say for on that point, the translation of spirit and soul, like we'll say mind, body, and soul, and even in the principles of Akoma Day, you will see us say sometimes the last one is unified soul and unified spirit.
Right.
And we make the distinction because the spirit is symbolic or equivalent to the mind. So when we say mind, body, and spirit, we're saying mind twice because the mind is the spirit. The micro mind is the macro universe projected outward, right?
Right.
The soul, though, is the personality. And so a unified soul is the personality. So we are told an indigenous story that was before all of these religions and before many of the things that we know and understand. All concepts have a abstract and practical reality.
Right.
So the symbol that we miscall the heart is actually the Akoma, which our name comes from, the Akoma House Initiative.
Right.
And it was telling a story about soulmates. And what it was saying is that a man and woman was one in the spiritual realm, separated at birth, right? And then go along its trajectory here through the humps of trials or initiation, and then reconnect at a unified center, pointing back to the place from which they come. This reality is where we got the concept that a woman came from a man's rib, or a man came from a woman's rib. In our Nile Valley culture, it says that Asta and Asar are created from Shu and Geb. I mean, from Nut and Geb simultaneously. When you go to Timu and all of the creation stories that predate the Adam and Eve story, the Sanhedrin Jew Adam and Eve story, and there's thousands of them actually. They all showed that men and women were created literally from the sinew or the bone of each other at the same time. Well, when the Sanhedrin Jews came in, they created the Adam and Eve story, and they said that the woman came from a man's rib, but not the man came from a woman's rib. Now, the point that I'm saying is this story that is codified in this shape called the Akoma, miscalled the heart, we actually demonstrated in our company logo, right? Is you see the woman's head and the man's head, but there is no distinction between the two. They are connected as one thing.
Right.
That story and the depth of it is really profound, not to get into it right now, but that is where the term soulmate comes from, because the other side of you that was in the spiritual realm is actually the mate of your soul. And so they are your soulmate. So we have soulmate, the noun, which is one person. We all only have one soulmate, right? So this soulmate is your physical other half of you, because men and women are a puzzle piece, right? But now you can soulmate, verb, or you can practice soulmating with whomever you choose to have equality with, because some of us never meet our soulmate, because in the legend, in the story, it tells us that we are separated, and one is put into the womb of a woman during conception. The other one is later, weeks, months, sometimes years later, and they are born. There was a person called a Moamogedi, which is kind of like if you think of a doula today. They had the purpose of divining the purpose of a person's life, and then checking in with other Moamogedi to find out who is the counterpart of this child. And when you would find that in a way that was untampered with for many eons, that we would know without question, because every person's purpose came with this cryptic message of why you were here. Right. When we conferred with the rest, we say, oh, that child is for that. There is a child in this other province that is the other part of that. Soulmates would usually meet as children. So this is why we have Jack and Jill and some of the other the hill that they're going up Jack and Jill went up the hill is the hill of self-development, right? And so when Nawasha was talking about fairy taleism and learning lessons, really, with no disrespect to anybody's spiritual traditions, really the writers, especially the Europeans that transferred or transcribed our spiritual scripts and altered stuff and left stuff out and misunderstood stuff.
Right.
A lot of them are the same people who wrote fairy tales. And so the fairy tale style, the lessons that are in them are the very exact same style in the scriptures of today, the popular scriptures of today.
Like Shakespeare. Shakespeare was one of them. Shakespeare was one of them.
William Tyndale, who changed his name with William Shakespeare, he is in the King James version of Psalms.
Yes.
46, he wrote that, transcribed it when he was 46 years old. If you go 46 words from the top and 46 words from the bottom, you will see his signature, William Shakespeare, or you will see Shakespeare is right there. And so it's many things like that. But a soulmate is actually the other part of you. And whether you're dealing with your actual soulmate, because many of us don't meet them, they get aborted in the womb or they die through their life journey, you can still practice the art and science of soul mating with the mate of your choose and have a wonderful life. Even if you're doing multiple mates or wives, husbands, whatever, polyandry, polygamy, you know, whatever you're doing, you can practice the art and science of soul mating, but the actual soul mate is one thing. Now, I don't know what you want to say about twin flame.
Twin flame.
I think that what we need to understand as original people on the planet is that we have the first story of this separation and reconnection. So I think, again, because we do have a kind of superficial unified consciousness because of social media and hashtags. So we're able to say, there's a twin flame and there's this. The idea that you are twins in some way is also very much a part of a lot of our classical African stories. So when you go to the oldest stories, the idea is that the elements, the idea is that life was kind of reproduced in this twin aspect, that you have a masculine and a feminine of multiple different kinds of things. You have masculine, feminine of the air, masculine, feminine of the earth, masculine, feminine of water. This kind of creation was always in the twin aspect. So when people say twin flame, you know, flame is very much like Montsho was saying, it's your soul. It's the light inside of you. It's divinity, you know, and definitely it's the passion, right? That comes in love. The fact that it's hot and we want the flame to be on and not off. So when people say twin flame, sometimes people, you know, we're remixing our cultural stories. So we say, you know, a soulmate is the person, or people say you can have many soulmates. That's not true. Like what Montsho was saying is you have one actual soulmate, but you can soulmate with whoever you choose because you're using the art and science of soulmating. But what you're literal, as Montsho said, the noun, I have a soulmate, there's one, because you have the masculine and feminine in unity before it's separated into conception. Twin flame, I think a lot of times when I see it used, it's that people are saying somehow it's more passionate than a soulmate. People are saying, my mom is my soulmate, my sister, brother, my cousin, my best friend.
We thought somebody said their cat is their soulmate.
I did. My cat is my soulmate. So I think that sometimes people use that word as though it's just really, really connected. And people use twin flame as though there's some passion and there's some, you know, some other depth of the masculine, feminine in there. But truthfully, we're speaking English right now. So soulmate is the thing that is the other part of your unified self, right? The masculine and feminine forms of life. So whatever you're looking at when they say you're, you know, we're having the masculine, feminine of an animal, the masculine, feminine of a plant. Like that's just how life is reproduced. So that is your soulmate, is that if you were to be born, there's the complement of you in existence. But as Montsho was saying, we're living in a really hostile world where you might not meet your soulmate. And some of that comes from not following your intuition, from, you know, not being where you're supposed to be. And then other times, truthfully, we're in a culture where we're losing children straight from the womb. So someone could have been conceived and still not live their full life to coming to reconnecting with a mate. So learning the art and science of soulmating that is really how to live your purpose and how to put yourself in great places so that you meet people who are complementary to your purpose, and then how to maintain a relationship where you're honoring the other person and you're harmonizing with them, and then you're soulmating. So this is why people can feel like my cat is my soulmate, or
Right,
my
right, right.
friend is my soulmate, or I have 5 soulmates because we just know each other, we get each other, we support each other. That's how life is actually supposed to be. You're not
Right,
supposed
right,
to be in
right,
conflict with so many people, but it's
right.
not the same thing as a twin flame. When you're looking in like Jewish culture, they say bashert. When you're
Mhm.
looking in a lot of different cultures, words get popular because
Right.
what they're talking about is the other part of you that's destined to reconnect.
Right,
So
right.
that is in most people's cultural stories all over the world. We just, as Black people, have to accept that we had the first one. We had the very first explanation of when you see someone, you feel connected to them because they're the other part of you and it's familiar.
Right.
We started the stories of soulmating that went all around the world into, whether it's splintered off into Bashert, twin flame, other half,
Right.
all of these other types of terms. It is a real thing.
Right.
And this explains how humans also develop in divine harmony and complementarity.
But that was excellent explanation or breakdown. Last question before we get out, because I know we're busy people. We're doing what we got to do on this beautiful day, wherever we may be. Once again, family, we're speaking with Montsho and Nwasha Edu, and please contact them. I don't want to sound like James Brown up in here. 609-474-4203. That was a whole relationship song in its own. You know what I'm saying? And go to their email, of course, akomahouseinitiative at gmail.com. Their website is here, akomahouseinitiative.com. And also, they got a YouTube channel, Facebook, they got IG, all of it right here. And don't forget the Cash App Love, $, Akoma House, and PayPal Love. Those from across the sea, y'all can do PayPal. I know they can't do it Cash App, but they can do it across the sea. PayPal at Akoma House Initiative. One more thing. What if people are dreaming about each other? How is that connection? Because sometimes people will dream about and don't even want to tell you that they dreamt about you. But maybe it is an occurring dream that keeps on coming back, but they telling their friends and all that kind of stuff, and then your friend might say, why don't you tell them? Or why don't you tell her that you dreamt about it? And I dream about a lot of people. And usually when I get a dream, I'm warning or checking on people. I got to say, maybe let me check on you, because I know I got a lot of water and earth in my houses in my zodiac. So what is the dream realm all about when it comes to relationship, or seeing that you're doing some type of cosmic union with somebody in that realm?
Right. That's powerful, because I was definitely dreaming about Nawasha after we met.
Get a round of applause.
We met one time, and I had, the first time we met, I had done a ritual at this place. I was actually leaving a horrible relationship, and I was in a hellish situation and was looking for some spiritual guidance. So I went to this location and did this ritual. I just actually wasn't even intentional. I just did it on the spot because I was so emotional and so dissatisfied. Right. So I just did this little prayer ritual and this opening of the way ritual. Came back to the same spot, which was a car wash. 2 weeks later, and I met Nawasha there. And she came up to me, her and her sister came up to me and asked me for some paper towels. So it's a legendary story, as you know, it's become a poem and the whole nine. But then after that, I did dream about her, and I was trying to connect with her because she wouldn't give me her number. I asked her for her number. She wouldn't give it to me.
Playing hard to get.
So yeah, now I got it though. I got her number.
You got her and everything else.
Yeah,
got everything.
I got all her numbers now. I think that in our culture we talk about the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. So we know the conscious mind is awareness. We know from a psychological standpoint that the subconscious mind is actually awareness that has gone under your present access, because for all kind of reasons, just for coding and decoding, organizing, you can't remember everything that you're experiencing or have experienced at the present. So we call that subconscious. Something that happened to you or you experience, but then it's put under your current ability to access, but it can be brought out through hypnosis and other things, memory exercises on the continent they teach you, and there's and just shifting your awareness through ritual and other things, just you know. But the unconscious mind is that part of you that we call ancestral DNA. It's the part of you that far predates your life. In fact, it is the downloading of God that comes at conception and has within it all things. You know, life on other planets, the secret to the pyramid, whatever you want to discover is in your ancestral DNA, and it predates your life. So now when we go into the dream state, oftentimes a couple of things are happening. You know, from those three categories, we're consciously going in there with thoughts and unleashing a spiritual experience that we call a dream, right? We access the subconscious mind, where the mind triggers happen and they anchor us to emotions that then all emotions have a story connected to them. That story plays out like it did, or with some adjustment in a dream. But then you have this unconscious realm where the ancestors and others are speaking to you in a dream. Oftentimes you're seeing stuff, you're actually living in the life and body of others that you don't know from different times, et cetera, et cetera. This is not your conscious will or your subconscious unfolding. This is divinity speaking to you. And so many people that we have worked with have said they met their spouse before they met them. Like they saw them in a dream. And then when they met the person, they felt this connection, because like, I already talked to you already, even though I never met you before. I saw your exact face, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, to answer it succinctly, I think that from my experience, many different things are happening and could be happening. If a person came to me with dreams, I would ask them about numbers, and I would send them to somebody like you, you know what I mean, to say, what is this, to help people interpret it. But we did and are doing an ongoing initiation with a Botswana elder who is teaching you how to dream lucidly and how to, from that lucid dreaming, interpret or find meaning out of what you have happening. But I would say, in short, if you dream about somebody, they all on your mind, all three of them, the conscious, the subconscious, and maybe the unconscious mind they're coming from. And so you need to act on something, especially if you are in their presence. If you are, like you said, when you get downloads, if you get dreams, and you being a master with numbers, you may be warning a person, hey, pay attention to this, or look out for that, or this number is coming to you and it will mean this, or be careful of this. Well, in the love realm, the love is the unfolding of a lot of psychological feelings and emotions and whatever. And if it crystallizes and centralizes on a person, and you see that person, you better talk to that person, you know. And it gets difficult because people really, like, we dream about somebody else's spouse and all kind of craziness, you know what I mean? And so we got to be careful about how we have these conversations. But sometimes you're picking up on a frequency where the person is thinking about you, and you're picking up on those brain waves, and it's unfolding in a dream. So I would say, in general, we need to talk about it, but be careful, because we want to try to ascertain, is this conscious, subconscious, or unconscious?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because dreams, even talking, everything is very.
But if y'all both single, push up.
Make it happen.
So even when you dream about someone, and I think we know that if we dream about like unicorns, right?
Yeah.
Or we dream about something that's not real,
Right.
we're looking harder for the symbolism.
Right.
If we dream about something that is real or someone that we know, we act like it's not symbolism anymore. And I think that we have to make sure that we understand, what does a person mean to us? You know, what is it that they kind of represent as a symbol, and what's happening in the dream? And if something is recurring, it's definitely something to take note of. But I think it's important to note all dreams. You know, if you have a dream journal, if you spend a few minutes in awareness as you're waking up, and you don't jump to the next thing, like we were saying about being slower and having more presence, it's really good for you to be able to just accept that there is some information that's coming through. A lot of people make a practice. And I did this much better years ago, but I'm just back on it now. A lot of people made the practice of asking a question before they go to bed.
Yes.
So that their unconscious and subconscious can give more answers. So I think we have to accept a really powerful thing about the unconscious and subconscious is that there is so much more than you're actually taking in any moment. And you feel very confident going to sleep that your heart will still be beating, your digestive system will still be working, your lungs will still be working. None of us really are fearful of that next breath because of our unconscious and what we understand is happening at the subconscious level. So I think we need to remember that dreams can be very symbolic. We can get the answers to inventions, we can get the answers to our problems, because we have a level of access that we're not always aware of. And I think, you know, the simplest thing I tell people about dreams is if you watch something crazy or eat something crazy right before you go to bed, you could be dreaming about some savageness, right? And you'll understand it was what I ate, or I shouldn't have watched that movie because now whatever that character is right in my dream or something. But we don't really understand that everything that we're taking in throughout the day then falls to our subconscious. And even just now, like, people are probably listening to this focused on what we are saying, maybe looking at one screen. But if you stepped away, your own awareness, there's probably 1,000 things to look at in the room that you're in. Even if there's just a few things, there can be variation of color on that one thing to the 10th degree.
Yes.
And so what we're able to sharpen and we're able to focus so that we can function. If you were taking in stimulus of thousands of things at a time, you would go crazy, right? But the truth is that it's always there. So our subconscious, we have to be able to deal with what we're taking in, but not necessarily using right away. That could absolutely seep back into a more conscious awareness during a dream. But then we also have to understand that the way that we think of so-called new ideas, and we have like downloads, where we're downloading from is the unconscious. And that's really a gift. So to be able to say with a little bit more consciousness that I will go into subconscious and I will accept my so-called, we call it like a divinity walk or downloads or inspiration. But a lot of people, culturally, we would say it's the first self. The self that you have before you develop your personality. That's your second self that you live with all the time.
That eternal mind.
If we say to ourselves that when I get an idea and when something pops into my mind, that I'm not going to ignore it and I'm going to engage more with my first self, that's how we actually sharpen our intuition. And as Montsho was saying, like, you have something to do, especially with something that's recurring, because it wouldn't be on your mind over and over and over. Anyone can dismiss a crazy dream one time. But if you're like, hey, I have this recurring thought about a person, then for you to even remember it and remember that it's recurring in this kind of chaotic society, it's probably calling for you to do something, even if it is be more of a friend or recognize that a person is important and tell them that, you know, like, be a human being and be kind and have grace and show some respect for the other and not just be self-centered. So I love dream analysis. You know, I love dream just even noting it yourself to see how you're evolving. For many of us, it's 5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. That's like a third of the day, you know, like, so I think it's really powerful how you can go into these places and create whole worlds. And it's a real opportunity to know more about yourself and more about all of the things that maybe you weren't focusing on that are in your subconscious, and all of the gifts of newness that every single person's life, as much as we are interconnected, and bonded in one mind, we also have the amazing blessing of never being duplicated again. So entertaining the things that come into your mind, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be on the planet and to have a personality, and it will never come up again. Even if you are twins, you don't have everything exact. Even if you have the same DNA, your mind is the space. Your dreams are the space where you can often have a whole separate reality from anyone who ever existed and ever will exist in the future. So I think it's really great to take inventory of it and acknowledge that it's a third of your day. It's potentially almost half the week, and not ignore it. So I think it's something to
push
take action
up
with.
if she fine. Push up on her if she fine. If she keep coming
in your
up in your
dream.
dream. Who had that? Was that Billy? Oh, somebody had a song that said "Get out of my dream and into my life." Yeah, that was Billy Ocean, right?
Billy Ocean, the great Billy Ocean. Wow.
Yeah. Well, get out. Get in the front seat. Get out my dream and get in my car. Yeah, pull up to her and just say that. Hey, yo, get out my dream and get in this car right now.
That's a new line for the streets. You can have a round of applause. Oh, family. That's why I have them on, family. These two here, boy. This is it. Montsho and Nwasha Edu, man. Make sure you support their book. This book is an awesome book. Y'all see, I got it. And I'm telling you, man, make sure you support them. Hit them up. Of course, the number is right here on the screen, 474-4203. And don't forget Akoma House Initiative at gmail.com. The website, akomahouseinitiative.com. Remember, they got Facebook, they got Instagram, they got YouTube, they got all of this. And don't forget, they got the Cash App now. Stop playing at their PayPal. Do not play. Give them the money today. Share that frequency. The more you circulate, the more you get back. And please remember, they got classes and courses also that they do. As I'm scrolling down here, they got all the symbols and everything they tell you about. They give you a whole breakdown of what they are doing. And of course, the book is phenomenal. They got the cultural-based relationship empowerment, Black Love School, the Akoma lifestyle and culture merchandise. All of that is on these beautiful people's website. Make sure you show them some love. Spread love. Don't let me sing again. Spread love. Spread love. I'm from Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn.
Oh, that's take 6. That's take 6 right there.
That's take 6. Yeah, take 6 back in the day. Family, I want to thank y'all both for coming on, man. Thank y'all very much.
We appreciate you. Much love, man. We always open to connecting and collabing with you. We appreciate it. From the first time, it's always class act and well done. So we appreciate that.
I appreciate both of y'all, man. And we definitely got to link up when y'all come to Georgia. Let's do something.
Yeah, we come. I see you got Ashra Kwesi and Marie Kwesi. You know, they are 2 of our main teachers as well. So
you coming out to New York?
Yeah,
I'll put you on my guest list. I'll put you on my guest list, unless you want to vend. If you want to vend, it's a different thing. But you can get on my guest list. Hey, I got limited.
Yeah, we definitely gonna come. We definitely gonna come to that.
Yeah, I know they're back because they haven't been there he hasn't been there 4 years. She hasn't been there 7 years because she had to take care of grandchildren.
Yeah.
Take care. So
absolutely.
And now, so if you're coming out, let me know and I'll make sure.
Yeah, I think Nawasha just saw him last year in Kemet or the year before. 2021. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got to get you to that new spot. It's called Alkaline Oasis, owned by
Mr.
G.
I saw that when you were promoting it. So
Mr. G is the man, man.
Be in the house next month for that, man.
Yeah, let me introduce you to him because he has Kaba Hiawatha coming in. He has a lot of people, and that's the new lecture spot. And he was Dr. Sebi's video recorder, man. So today is the year that the day that he passed on. It's since 2016. So. Shout out to Baba Sebi, Baba Sebi, of course, and and today is Jamaica Infant. 2016. Time flies for real, man. But I want to thank y'all very much for coming on, man. Let's send salute to you and your family,
man. We appreciate it.
Love you too, man. Y'all be safe, all right? Thank y'all very much. Give them a round of applause again,
family. Black love is the way. Black love is the way. Let's get it, black people.
All day, every day. Take care, y'all. That's right, family. That's our family, man. Show them love. Show them love. Show them love. Don't play with this. Man, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. man. I want to do a quick salute to Dr. Sebi real quick, if you don't mind. Before I close out, I want to do a quick salute to Dr. Sebi. If you don't mind, I'm going to do a quick salute to Dr. Sebi. Today, you know, he passed on in 2016 on this same day. Today is also Jamaican Independence. And Dr. Sebi, you know, he was like a grandfather, a fun grandfather to me. You know what I'm saying? Him and I spoke on the phone numerous times. And Dr. Sebi was just that dude, man, that gave the knowledge, dropped the knowledge for you, you know, and said what he meant what he said. And from his perspective, and that's all you can do is respect his perspective, you know. And let's see what we can pull up with Dr. Sebi right now, real quick, just to send a quick salute to our Baba and show him how much we care about him. Let's see which one we can pull up. Let me see. Let me see how he speaks on water.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Dr. Sebi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming to see us today. This information that you're giving us is so wonderful.
Here's Dr. Sebi speaking on answering the question. Looks like in Philadelphia.
One is water. We have so many different waters and on the market. What is the best way for us to drink our water?
You know, it's difficult for me to tell you what water in America. In Honduras, I drink thermal water. It comes out of the ground at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes at 210, little above boiling point, which the boiling point is 212, right? But it comes up at 200, which is purified. Anything that comes out of the ground at 90 and above is purified by nature. In America, when I'm in America, I try to look carefully and see that I drink spring water. Spring water, not distilled water. Distilled water has a pH of 7. Has a pH of 7, which is neutral. It's not good to drink because it will rob you of your minerals. Spring water has the minerals. The dissolved solids are high. So when you buy your water, buy spring water. Don't buy purified water. Spring water.
That was Dr. Sebi.
Aloha and good morning, Dr. Robert.
That was Dr. Sebi. That was Dr. Sebi speaking on, of course, water. It looked like it was Philadelphia. It looked like the Philadelphia lecture, if I'm not mistaken. And he transitioned in 2016. Rest in peace to our dear beloved Dr. Sebi, of course. Today is the day he transitioned since in 2016 himself. And one more video I want to play with Dr. Sebi. If y'all don't mind, I want to play one more with Dr. Sebi. You know, let me see what I can find real quick. Okay, here it goes. This is about garlic. Hold on.
That garlic lowers your pressure. Garlic will lower your pressure. But what they didn't tell you is this. When the artery is clogged with cholesterol because of those pork chop and those neck bones, then you have this, a little passageway of blood. Garlic will come and eat all this away really quick. And also eats the membrane. You see, these things are not taught to us. Remember, garlic on the pH scale, cow milk. Cow milk sits right here. Bear sits right here. beer and wine. But the lower you go on the pH scale, the more acid that substance will be. So now, where do you think garlic fit?
Number one.
Boy, you really have me. 3.3. Very acid. I used to use it. I use garlic. I use everything that everybody used, but I woke up one day because a woman stood in front of me and said I was a fool. Her name is Mrs. Holloman. Mrs. Holloman came to me because her little knees were hurting her. And I'd made a sandwich very good. It's still good. I make it now because everybody buys it. So Miss Solomon asked me, what am I going to eat? I said, you're going to eat carrots and beets. You're going to drink carrot juice and beet juice. She said, stop it. I said, why, man? She said, because you're crazy. She said, beets and carrots are made in a laboratory. I am made by God. So God should make my food. And if I were you, I wouldn't call myself a healer until you research. They call it industrial agriculture.
Big up to Dr. Sebi. Big up to Dr. Sebi. Big up to Dr. Sebi. Man, you can catch that video online. Rest in peace, my brother. Rest in peace, my brother. 7 years since he transitioned. I believe my brother, if you're in Brooklyn, New York, I believe his son is teaching in Brooklyn, New York. Let me find if that's the case today at the Alkaline. I think he's teaching at the Alkaline Oasis. Let me find that real quick. The Alkaline Oasis. Yeah, I think he's teaching over there today. So if you're in Brooklyn today, yes, Dr. Victor Bowman is teaching over there today. So go get your herbs from Victor. Victor is very good at what he does. Big up to him. Big up to Victor. Victor is good at what he does. 7-year milestone. They're talking about it right here. Go on over there to get some herbs. Free herb giveaway right there with Victor Bowman today. Free herb giveaway tribute to Dr. Sebi. 7 years since he transitioned. They wrote it in it. So Victor, his son is going to be there giving away at 3 p.m. So y'all have time to even drive in. Please don't hesitate. They said call the number 347-250-1211 or 917-635-9165. Let's celebrate Dr. Sebi's the legacy of Dr. Sebi and embrace the power of natural healing. So Victor will be there today at 958 Halsey Avenue in Brooklyn, right near Broadway, right at the corner of Broadway. So Victor Bowman will graciously give away herbs today. Stuff that he learned from his father. So if you're in Brooklyn, New York, head on over there. Big up to Victor, whatever he's doing and however he's doing. Enough respect to him. And again, rest in peace to Baba, Dr. Sebi. All right. Once again, we want to thank the Akoma Village, for the Akoma Institute, for coming in and spreading love their way. And if you didn't get to watch it, rewind this. This was an excellent show with these couple here. Go to their website, the akomahouseinitiative.com. akomahouseinitiative.com, and tell them that King Simon sent you. Relationship, come on, let's build that relationship back. Let's build melanated people to love one another again. Love your man, love your woman, love your people, love your children again. Condolences to my dear friend, good friend of mine who used to be in the Ansar Law community with me, Morpheus. His daughter was taken out by her fiance, domestic violence, it seemed like, right here in Georgia. And I heard it before I came on, but I definitely want to send a salute. That's why relationship is so important. Right relationship, right communication. Also, we want to remind everybody, our dear sister Queen of Fu is celebrating 70 years of looking so young and beautiful. Queen Afua is doing 70 years, so make sure you come out to her event from August the 11th to the 13th. It will not be at the Legacy Center. They changed the location for whatever reason, but it's on her website. Make sure you go to queenafua.com. That's queenafua.com. If you're in the 12th, August 12th, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, go to my nephew's dojo here. It's called Temple on the Island. Grand opening. They're teaching jujitsu, VSK, V-Jitsu. They teaching Sanukas. They teaching Kumite. They're warrior Kaido. They're doing that. The Kaido, they're doing that also. And then on the 13th, I'll be interviewing Shaniqua Lino. We're going to be speaking about it on August the 13th at 9 p.m. Then we will be in the beautiful place called New Orleans, and I will be there. Jackie will be there. Nina will be there. Aquarius Maximus will be there. Lloyd Strayhorn will be there. Make sure you get your ticket at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. I have Dr. Karima King coming in the building for the first time Sunday, August 27th. Master Iridologist, Uveda, herbalist, and Reiki master. And remember, if you're in Georgia for the weekend of September 8th through the 10th, come on and join us. We're going to have a good time, not only with Tassili at the Mystic Fair, and I'll be interviewing her soon, but I will be speaking at the Mystic Fair, but also more than likely I'm going to be speaking on the mountain too when we climb up that mountain with Brother Rich and the KTL family. Big up to my sponsor, Lloyd Strayhorn. One of my sponsors, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, 800-581-4400. Another one of my sponsors, Dr. Shakira Moore, certified holistic practitioner, spiritual. Beta Water is also her spiritual brand. Make sure you go to Linktree/Holistica Healer for all of the information on her. Baba Ashra Kwesi again is coming to where Victor Bowman is going to be for Dr. Sebi Day today. Baba Ashra Kwesi is going to be coming to that same venue at 958 Halsey Street on September the 23rd. Ray Charles' birthday, so I'm going to play a lot of Ray Charles music if y'all don't mind on that particular day, because I want that energy of his to be there with me, because I know Ray Charles was astute and very clear in what he wanted to do, even though he was sight impaired. Big up to him. And we're going to do it on that birthday right there. Get your tickets, get your early bird tickets. It's going up to $40 on September 1st and then $50 at the door. Get your tickets now. I'm telling you, early bird tickets are $30. And if you want to advertise, please email me. Remember, advertisement does not cost, it pays. McDonald's used to serve thousands of people. Then they do advertisement, they serve millions of people. Now they're serving billions of people, all advertisement. Understand that. Drop Squad Kitchen, hit them up in Wilmington, Delaware. They got the best vegan food in the world. Hypnosis with Kendall. If you want to get your mind right from a subconscious level, go to Kendall Cobb. She helped me, very much helped me in what I did. Hypnosiswithkendall.com, 800-503-1993. EPS Holistic Health and Wellness .square.site. Great ointments and oils for the body when you're working out and got muscle pain and all that, knee pain and joint pain. Hit this person up, hit this family up. They got some great stuff on their website. 929-456-3009. That's my son's beloved. So big up to her, Elizabeth, and the whole crew. Big up to Nicholas Brooklyn and Nicholas Cultural. Make sure you hit them up. Take a snapshot of this picture, 10% off with this flyer. Take a snapshot of it. All purchases has to be retail purchase, not wholesale, although they do wholesale. They got black soap, sea moss, crystals, elderberries, all of that over there. Incense, shea butter, all of that is over there. So make sure you support Nicholas Brooklyn and Nicholas Cultural. And also, if you're going to take a trip with a historical trip, not a metaphysical trip, a historical trip with the one, the only, legendary Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi, hit them up at 214-371-0206. Tell them King Simon sent you, and they will definitely explain it and show you love since you came through King Simon. And if you want any of my books, go to Linktree/King Simon, the numero Veda. Also, taking my class. This is a 2-hour class on Udemy. And the rates are usually fluctuating between $9.99 or $84.99. If you catch them on a good day, that's how it is. But you can go to Linktree/King Simon, the numero Veda, or if you want to take my full 8-hour course, raw, uncut, PowerPoint, and chalkboard, hit me up at Linktree / King Simon, the new motivator. And if you want to book a session with me right now, I'm into September. And remember, September is the sneak peek months. September, October, November, December, and going into the next year is the sneak peek months of what's to come, what to be aware of, what's the theme of your life. So if you do a session with me, I will also alert you on the theme of the year to come, 2 to 3 years, 1, 2, 3 years. I even suggest 10 years for your own benefit. I tell people, why y'all like to think on 1 year only and 10? Go for the 100 years. Learn about 100-year planning and all that stuff. Learn how to have a legacy for at least 100 years. Learn that kind of stuff. That's very helpful. So you can book your session by texting your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Now I am doing it only strictly on YouTube private page. So every time I record your session, you will not see me. I will not see you. We will just be on a voice as I'm running down commercials. You'll hear the verbal breakdown of anything that you ask of me and all that. I'm doing it on YouTube, a private page on YouTube, on a whole nother account. People are getting it done because if I do it on YouTube, you can actually listen to it on any apparatus. I don't care what, broadcast it on your television. You can play it on your phone. You can play it. So I'm doing it on YouTube, on a private page on YouTube. So once I send it to you, it's private. It's up to you if you send it to somebody to listen to, but it's a private consultation with King Simon. All right. No faces, just commercials running, just my voice you'll be hearing. Your commercials be running like this during the whole live. All right. And again, like I said in the beginning of the show, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And the affirmation that Dr. B. Sirius gave us, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection because none of us, no one is perfect in this realm. Closing out with Dr. Delbert Blair, please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Make sure you go to his website, themetacenter2.com. That's themetacenter2.com. And I close out in the three illustrious people that I like to close out with. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God, one creative force. And in the late great words of Maya Angelou, and still we rise. Continue to rise to the top. Be your very best. Do your best, like Dr. Africa was saying. And after you got to your best, then do something better. That's all I can keep on saying. All right. This has been King Simon Presents Only Quality People. And do remember to support our brother and sister in Montsho and Nwasha. Do support Queen of Four coming up. Do support the martial arts studio in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Do support Sister Lino coming in. Do support the Sisters of the Traveling Spread, the whole circle of cosmic consciousness. Do support our sister Karima King. Do support Tassili and Black Magic 363 and Know the Ledge. Do support Lloyd Strayhorn. Do support our dear sister, Dr. Shakira Moore. Do support me, of course, bringing it all back to New York, Baba Ashwa Kwesi and Mira Kwesi. Don't mean I'm moving back there. I'm just bringing that lecture there because he hasn't been there in a long time. I had him here last year in October. And do support all of the people that I shouted out. All right? Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Love y'all, respect y'all, and be great, be blessed, and do remember, like, subscribe, share. King Simon Presents Only Quality People. I want to thank everybody that was on Facebook. I'm broadcasted on 3 Facebook pages, and I want to thank everybody on my YouTube pages, 2 YouTube pages and 1 Twitter account. King Simon Prod on Twitter if you want to hit me up over there on Twitter. All right? Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Peace and love, family. I love you. Take care. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers?
Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn, inviting you to heal with the numbers and cards in person at the Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat in New Orleans. Go to stshealing.com to learn from the Masters, Aquarius Maximus, King Simon, Nina Diamond, Jazz Aphrodite, and myself. Don't forget, New Orleans, August 17th through the 20th at the Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Register now at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. See you there.
On Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn, Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022.
Hey, this is King Simon, the International Numero Beta. Remember, get all my books on Amazon or go to Linktree/King Simon, the Numero Beta. And remember, don't forget to book my sessions at 347-496-1022. Book now. Hey family, it's King Simon, the founder of Numerovation. Remember, if you want to book a session with me and get a Numerovation consultation, all you have to do is text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon, the Numero Beta. Get all 4 of my books. And of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
So remember, our job as studiers of these metaphysical, esoteric knowledge is to help enhance people to be better. I, as a numerator, using the numbers, or quote-unquote numerals, and motivation to get people to understand why they need to activate their numbers to be their very best self and maximize it. Because the numerals hold a frequency. And if you're willing to turn up that frequency, then that frequency can help to guide you and navigate you to a higher height that will allow you to spiral to be your best self. We must remember that.